All right, guess we're recording. This is going to be interesting. So, hey everybody, I'm Dr. Craig Engstrom, but you can just call me Craig. And I'm going to be trying something new. And you're going to tell me if you think this is a dumb idea or not. It could be a dumb idea. All right, we're going to join Repack Rush today and see how that goes because I like the gamification in this. I'll be showing a little bit later my setup. Anyway, we're getting into a game called Zwift. I'm on my own bicycle on some Wahoo products. And basically, the name of this game is to just ride around and see what times we can beat and collect some little jewels or time clocks along the way. And there we go. I'll have to be looking over here a little bit because that's where my monitor is. Probably have to figure out a better setup here so I can actually kind of be looking at you while I'm also looking at the game. I can kind of see myself in what I'm recording on my computer, but anyway, this is going to be a learning experience, and that's kind of the theme of today, which is trying something new. About 2018, I creating videos for my classes. I developed an online public speaking course at Southern Illinois University, and I really enjoyed making videos. I liked that it challenged my skill set, and I made some pretty exciting videos. I'll probably be showing them on my LinkedIn as well as here from time to time. I'm trying to get some viewership. Anyway, like most people around the pandemic in 2020, 2021, I was like, I should go ahead and create some videos. I always wanted to create videos sort of on tutorials and things related to productivity, trying to get, share some of my wisdom on how I save time and do different things with ed tech and technology. And the YouTube channel, went pretty well. I have something almost about 2,000 subscribers on it, maybe a little less than that, actually, like 1,600. Anyway, I haven't made videos in a really long time, and the reason for that is because I got a new position in 2022. I'm the director of the Center for Teaching Excellence and at Southern Illinois University, and it just takes a lot of time. Video creation takes a lot of time. Sometimes a 5-minute video can take me like 6 hours of production. So I think trying to do that and do my job well has been a bit of a challenge. And sort of paralysis set in. Anyway, let's see if we can get a different screen going here. Paralysis really set in for me in creating videos. Kind of share why, and I think this is a common experience people might have when they're producing social media video content. Anyway, the real challenge was I kind of started out doing productivity videos, and then I did some this is going to be a challenge for me because I got to really try something new. I'm going to get to kind of what I think some of the challenges with this kind of format for me will be. But anyway, I'll get better with it over time perhaps. But anyway, the challenge for me was I created videos that were related to productivity, public speaking. I did a lot of Canva tutorials. That's what I'm using to project the slides. I did an OBS video, which is what I'm using to stream here. And basically, the most popular, I really wanted my public speaking videos to be popular too. But sort of the talent development and the presentation videos and the Canva videos were the ones that really sort of took off. And I didn't want to be like a Canva channel. And overall, I just kind of lost interest because I was like, I want to create other types of videos other than just how to use Canva well. But those were like, the ones that have hit like 30,000, 50,000 views. So anyway, altogether, I just pretty much stopped making videos. So This went on for some time, and then just recently, something cool kind of happened, and that is I produced a video for a colleague, actually two recently. One of them is on LinkedIn now, and I've received some good comments about how it's a pretty detailed video, well done, this and that. So I think I was like, wow, I really do enjoy this. Now the thing or the challenge is, it's another video on productivity or using an ed tech tool like Microsoft. And I don't know, I just again don't want to become only pigeonholed into that. But again, producing videos takes a lot of time. So I've been thinking about it. The second thing that happened recently is I've been trying to think about, because every time I'm on Zwift, on this game here that you see me in, I'm like, maybe I could do something where I talk about how the gamification of Zwift here has a lot of overlap with how I think about gamification of teaching. I was like, oh, that'd be a really cool video. But I can never get around to it because I'm always so busy. And I want to have a life and I want to exercise, and anyway. So I didn't really do it. And then I also was mulling over, well, how do I, in my garage, because I'm relegated to the garage here, so I have my background all blurred out, because there's no space for my equipment setup in the house. So I was like, how do I set up the computer? I couldn't really think about it. I was trying to think of a bunch of ways to do this kind of recording without a lot of technology. And then one of my former colleagues suggested this really mini kind of screen. That's what I keep looking over at. And the combination of that video and kind of having fun doing it really made me think, I could do this. And then with this new screen, I had it. I was like, oh, I can do this now. So here I am trying something new. Really trying to test out the boundaries of what's possible. How can I push my brain to do something? And even do something that I think, who's going to want to sit here and watch this? Now, I will say, I keep getting a steady stream of people in these YouTube videos just walking around, talking, sharing news, and so forth. And I know how extremely hard it is to do those types of videos because there's a lot of prep that goes into it. Anyway, so I thought, if you can do it walking, could you do it cycling? Now, of course, one of the challenges is going to be you have to breathe heavier when you're cycling. So I think, who knows, people will probably be annoyed by the fact that I have to breathe. So this may not work. Anyway, what I was thinking though, hey, I can do Tuesday morning tune-ups, talk about talent development, talk about gamification of teaching, talk about anything related to talent development while Zwifting. And then maybe, even from time to time, just do a stream of me actually cycling and challenging myself. As you can see, a week ago I hit 2 minutes and 32 seconds on this course, which is the fastest time I've ever had. It's actually quite fast, people. Maybe I'll try that today at the end of this video to see if I can beat that time. I really like this world because you can see it's pretty short and you just kind of keep doing it, and you can easily stack up like a 10-mile ride really quickly. Now I'm realizing that with the position of my garage, I'm going to get blinded. I got sun coming in right over here. Anyway, this is going to be a fun challenge. I'm not stopping though, because see, that's the thing. I could try for perfection. I don't even know if this idea is going to work. I'm going to ask you all, what do you think? I also thought, why not live stream these? That might be good. I want to do some editing. But I wanted to do this first one where I recorded it because, to be honest with you, I've already made some mistakes that I probably want to edit out. But the problem is, do I really want to go for perfection? Or at least make it seem like I just really knew what I was talking about? I can just do stream of consciousness while I'm simultaneously cycling and doing this and that. I don't know. It's pretty hard to get that. I think people would understand, but, is it going to be worth watching is the other question. If you want to just kind of do this as a podcast and listen to me, what is my breathing going to sound like? I really don't know. These are all sort of new things here for me. So we'll see what it turns out to be like, and if I even post this. If I do, that'll be interesting. Anyway, All right, so let's get into why we may want to try something new. According to psychology, and this isn't like in-depth research again, I'm thinking more, what do I kind of already know? What minimally do I have to do some research on? I will try to share some actual facts and things, but I don't want to spend a bunch of time. That's the problem. I don't have a lot of time to produce these videos on topics, and I don't even know where to post them. Kind of lost my train of thought earlier back, and what I was going to say is that one of the challenges with YouTube is it really rewards being sort of specific and niche. So if I wanted to grow my channel, I would really have to just focus like on Canva. But I think I have a workaround, and I am going to start reproducing videos for that channel. I'll explain how and why here soon. Anyway, so, well, first off, in social psychology, they say trying something new wakes up your mind, can improve your mood. In fact, I think in my position, I love my job. I always tell my supervisor, the provost, that it's like all the things I've ever learned or done, research, this and that, has come really to bear in this position, even leading a team. Quite frankly, I can't think of a job that I would want more at this current time. Of course, that may change, different circumstances, and so forth. But in any case, I think I'm really lucky to have what I have. So I don't have a lot of time to do all this. But I was getting, there's a lot of initiatives and things going on, and I can't define the totality of who I am. And after I produced those few videos for people and posted them, and people beyond SIU, my employer, got value out of it, I was like, I want to do more of this. But again, the factor of time. So I kind of combine all of these things and said, I can do it. I'm already feeling happier. I've got more of that dopamine kick in happening, when someone comments and says they really got value out of a video. There's something there. Anyway, so you want to try something new for that reason. You also want to try something new because it's novel, right? I'm doing something I've never done before. I have doubts about. It is a skill for people to be able to do two tasks simultaneously. Stream here, in this video format, while gaming, while trying to control their breath. And I'm already making quite a few mistakes. And that's okay, because maybe over time, I will get better at it. It's going to push me. It's really going to push my mind to try to develop a new skill. Reporters have to learn to control their thinking, to speak in a certain way. I tend to speak very fast. My brain goes a mile a minute. And in this format, I really have to kind of control my breathing, pay attention to the game, talk, remember to look at the camera. Anyway, and then there's sort of a discomfort, and as educators, we know it's important to make ourselves uncomfortable with new ideas, new ways of doing things, new techniques. So just the mere fact I'm doing this, may be a total bomb, is pushing myself. I have a task, and without that specific task, I wouldn't really be doing it. But I've been sitting here every time I ride thinking about the kinds of games that I should, or the videos that I could do after the fact. And I like to push my public speaking skills. And when it comes to lecture videos, I tend to be very, focused. I tend to script. So I can have the transcript for closed captioning and stuff right off the bat and not make any errors. PowerPoint's very good at this, by the way. Someday I'll maybe do a video on that on one of my channels. But generally speaking, I want to push my public speaking abilities a little bit more. And as Mark Twain said, it takes more than 3 weeks for him to write a impromptu speech. Is kind of a joke, but there's some truth to that. First, you have to be thinking a lot about things before you really talk about them. You're studying, you're learning. And that's just the reality for me, is that it's good to do something good. I'm not very good at it. I like to script everything, so this is going to push me. I got to multitask. I got to prepare, but I can't over-prepare. And I got to come in and say something useful and hopefully keep people. Now, of course, watching me in the game can be very helpful to kind of keep your minds focusing on other things other than me. So anyway, that's kind of I'm going to run into that. So anyway, that's sort of some things I wanted to share. Is after I just kind of will work on this, I think the question is, what am I going to be talking about? Well, I'll be talking about a bit different things. So again, the idea is that everything deals with talent development, but that could be on higher education. So I might cover some news topics, might cover some teaching strategies, might cover what's in the news, might talk about what's happening in the world of talent development, and so forth. So that is kind of what some of the themes I have in mind. And as I thought about what I would do in terms of my overall strategy here, let's see if I can find you a screen here that I want you to see, is I want to redevelop some videos. So I got the strategy now because I've got this channel, Craig Engstrom, that has a ton of like different videos, how-tos, talent development, Canva, videologies I call them. These are like speech videos that do speeches, and then I wanted to talk about those speeches and sort of what my inspiration for doing that. It's kind of a creative thing to do. Anyway, it's all over the place. So what I want to do on that channel is just make it more kind of about presentations. So kind of like Craig Engstrom Presents. On that one, covering mainly public speaking or visual aid. So it'll fit with the Canva theme and it'll fit with my public speaking theme. The next sort of setup video channel is my Craig Engstrom 1. So that channel was where I would post all of my like videos for students and so forth. A lot of them are unlisted. But I'm going to start posting like these kinds of videos. Any kind of the random stuff I do is going to go on that channel. So I don't expect that channel to grow very much, but it may, who knows. But in reality, that's just kind of going to be where I post miscellany, if you will. And the miscellaneous things will be teaching, technology, talk videos, these kind of Zwift videos, and so forth. And then from there I can share it to my channels, and then students, they can see another side of me because I'll continue to post videos there related to lectures. And I believe in sort of making things open, so why not allow, unless it's something very specific, the world to repurpose some of my content that I use in class. It's sort of like open education resources. So I think that's what I'm going to do to that channel. And then I'm going to go with the final one, and this is one that I wanted to start a couple years ago. I had this idea to do sort of 5-minute videos, highly produced on communication theory and topics, called Practically Speaking. And I'd like to do maybe a video every couple weeks there. We'll see. That's the one I'm not sure about yet. And then on LinkedIn, I'll just kind of share these videos that seem appropriate for my audience there, as well as from time to time when I do tutorials that don't make sense for any of the YouTube channels. Post those here. Anyway, I'm not going to get into some kind of crazy video production cycle, but it's going to motivate me to maybe produce something. And every Tuesday, or by every Tuesday, I'll do a Tuesday tune-up. Right here, just kind of doing this. You can Zwift with me. Maybe we can build a little bit of a community. I don't know. So we'll see. I'm still learning which ones I have for my video screen. I know for a while there I had the PowerPoint slide or the Canvas slide up. So again, might have lost some viewers there. I thought those ones would be the ones where when I'm dripping in sweat or need a towel or something I can switch to. But again, a lot of multitasking. Keep in mind what screen I'm on, pay attention to the game, right in that. So maybe doing repack rush is not a good idea. How long am I thinking of making these videos? You know, I want to try to keep them for like 20 minutes or so, which is where I'm at. So I'll kind of close out here by talking a little bit about my setup. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So what you're seeing is my setup on Zwift. I have my own bike. That's the Kona Rogue. It's the green bike there. I have the headwinds. Those are, or a headwind. It's actually a really cool device. It won some awards. That phenomenal piece of technology. So how it works is you can pair to the game, and the faster you're going, the more the wind will blow, or you can pair it to your heart rate monitor. This is great for climbing. So you can basically as your heart rate starts pounding harder, the fan will kick on harder. Or it basically just has steady state where you can choose through 1 through 4, and it blows hard. So it keeps you really cool and hopefully dry because I tend to sweat a lot. I've got the paddles. That's what I'm using to control the game right now. So that's helping me really control. And then finally, I've got the climb, which is on the front of the bike there in the picture, and the back part. And in this game that you're seeing in Zwift, it's adaptive. So if I was racing with a group and I'm behind them, it functions like the Peloton in real cycling. So you're doing less work, going faster. And let me show you something cool. So I'm on, once you get to level 50, I think it is, you get these socks. So this person right next to me is an actual person somewhere in the world. Looks like they're Canadian. So let's go ahead and show them what's up. I'm gonna kick on my fire socks. That's the level 50. So I'm gonna just fire off there. You can see the spark come out. So they didn't see it because I'm behind them. But anyway, the game is pretty cool. There, I'm getting in front of them. Let's kick on. The race is on now. There we go. So I can be a little competitive. So I think in the next video I'll talk about gamification, and that might help. To see I start breathing hard, and that's not what people want to hear. Anyway, so that's my setup. This is the game. This is Tuesday's talent development tune-up. And we're going to be riding in Zwift. I'll talk about the game, I'll talk about talent, share some words of wisdom, and that's pretty much that. So anyway, again, if you'd like, follow me on YouTube or LinkedIn. Join me on Tuesdays. Maybe I'll live stream. Let me know again if you think that's a good idea. Right now, I think I need to practice more, so I'm going to do more of these videos where maybe I can edit in post-production out some of my terrible talk. I can probably get better at it. I know what the audience wants. So anyway, maybe for now, I'll just sign off. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Happy teaching and learning. And if you'd like, stick around. I'll probably do a few other things in Zwift and probably edit those into post-production. Take care.